What's up, guys, and welcome back to Collectible Time. Today we're doing Market Breakdown EP02. We're going to take a look at those super alternate arts, do a booster box analysis, and I even got a smart buy guide for you guys, so stick around and check it out. Alright, to start things off, we're going to go ahead and look at the super alternate arts and compare them to the One Piece counterparts, because that is also a Bandai game. For the first FB01, we were seeing this card as low as $330 there for a while. I was actually thinking about buying it, and I'm not really into collecting the God Rares. We call these God Rares, but these are the super alternate arts that we're talking about. And I'm not really into collecting these, but I wish I would have before this boom, because this one we're seeing $2,498, but the most recent sale is $400. But when we look at the purchase history, we haven't seen one purchase since the 15th, and all of the cheap ones got bought out, the other ones got left, and we're not seeing those reposted yet, I don't believe. I believe that those are being sent to PSA, and we can compare these to the One Piece parallel manga alternate art from Romance Dawn OP01. Now this card is $4,000. Comparatively to $2,498, that's not that far off, to be quite honest. I believe that the first two, the Vegito and the Son Goku, are going to climb up to that level. The second manga from OP02 is also at nearly $3,000. So when we're comparing these, we really need to keep in mind that our game has been very cheap for a long time now. It's not quite as old as One Piece. I believe One Piece is about a year older, so it's not quite as old as One Piece, but we are starting to catch up in sets. So we're definitely going to see a lot of the older stuff start to really spike, and that's why we're seeing this. I believe that this is a lot more natural than people think. People actually caught on that Fusion World is a really nice game, and now that they've caught on, they want to collect it, they want to play it, and so everything got bought out. People noticed that, they bought everything out, and that's what we're seeing right here. We're also going to see a lot of these jump up. We can go down here and take a look at this, but a lot of this, in my opinion, is just natural. People saw that the other cards were selling, so of course they wanted to jump up their prices. Not a lot of these have actually sold. This set was, you know, a pretty popular set. It may have a lot of hits in it, but this is definitely the best one. When we go over here though, the FB04, this card was very cheap for a little while, $197. The regular alternate art was maybe $50 for a little while, and we're seeing these things spike to $750. That's kind of crazy, because honestly the box of that was, I believe, $40 maybe 2 months ago. And we're gonna look at all of these. Now this one is very inflated. I cannot believe that anybody would ever pay this for this, and I actually seen one at a store the other day for a fraction of this. I believe they had it up for like $450. And honestly, the most recent sale I'm seeing is $850. So they probably already, nope. Let's see. Oh no, that is for $850. So they probably already jacked up that price. And that's what stores are going to do. They're going to follow the market price. So don't be mad at them. Go ahead and look at this one. Now this is one of my favorite super alternate arts that they have. To be quite honest, I think this one is probably going to be more expensive than like even the first two really soon, because look at this. We only have 3 up for sale. Our last sold was $800, and we're seeing nothing but a price increase on this one. And I think this is one of the best arts from the super alternate arts, in my opinion. As well as this one, the manga booster 01 from Goku turning Super Saiyan the first time. This card, we knew this was going to skyrocket. This is from the first manga set, and this set, really, all of the cards have been skyrocketing, and not many have been selling, to be quite honest. We're seeing a price increase just natural from the inflation of the rest of the game. We're not seeing a complete buyout of these, but we are seeing a complete buyout of the boxes, so there's that. Moving on to the FB07, one of my favorite, Wish for Shinron. This set was awesome. Beast Gohan had really good cards in this. $1,750 is way too much for this card. I believe we're going to see this drop down to, you know, 1,000, something like that. It's too new of a set to be this high. This is definitely inflated. When we take a look at the sales, there's a lot of buyouts right here. Well, there's a little bit of a buyout right there. But other than that, it's not too bad. We're only looking at TCG Player for this video as well. I don't want to go into too deep and go down the eBay rabbit hole, because that would make for an hour-long video, and I'm just not looking to do that. Moving on to Mega Booster 02, another set that just came out not too long ago, and that is $2,300, and that's not going to sell for that. $1,420, that seems insanely high, but again, this is a manga set. People feeding into the hype are definitely not going to help. If people are buying these for inflated prices, that's definitely not going to help our game. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a card to buy. Try to search your local stores who are not trying to rip you off, and maybe try to trade or try to buy from one of your local guys. Last but definitely least, we have Sun Goten right here for $990. This, to me, I mean, it kind of makes sense because this is a very usable card right now in this meta. But if it was not usable in this meta, I don't think it would be this much. This artwork, in my opinion, is not the best. We've seen this on many different cards in the past, and I believe that this is going to just fall again. So I also want you guys to keep into mind that when we're looking at these prices, this could be PSA buying stuff out. This could be GameStop buying stuff out. I've actually talked to a couple GameStop employees, and they buy as much as they can to do these digital grab bags that you can just open online, and you're not even buying the card. You can put it in a safe online, and you never even have to hold the card, and you can resell it back to GameStop. So GameStop could be a part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of these skyrocket. They're starting to buy up a lot of the super alternate arts and a lot of the serialized cards, and they're gonna send them to PSA themselves, get them graded, and then they're going to sell them themselves. They're gonna try to make a premium off of this. All right, up next we have our booster boxes. Awakened Pulse booster boxes maybe a month ago were $100. I actually bought one from Game Nerds, and I actually shared the website on my last video, and they were bought out within a day or two of everything. So I kind of feel bad about that, because that video actually did pretty decent, and thank you guys, by the way. But those boxes are sold. I bought one myself, and I bought an SB02 myself before they sold. And now everything on that website is basically gone, besides maybe some sleeves and stuff. But again, these boxes, you know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago were $100, and now all of a sudden they are $295. These boxes right here are the first boxes from Romance Dawn OP01. These are the blue bottom boxes, and the other ones are the white bottom boxes. That was their reprint. These blue bottom boxes are going for $8,350. I have one of these boxes that are $295. This comparatively is nothing, and I've seen these boxes be going for $6,000 for the last, you know, a long time. Since, you know, beginning of the year, I've seen them at the stores going for about $6,000. But with Blazing Aura 2 only being $162 and Paramount Ore being $520, again, we're seeing natural inflation with these first boxes. Of course, they're going to be more expensive. They're the first ones that were ever released. When we look at FB03, the prices is going down a little bit, as well as FB04. What's funny is I bought, you know, 3 or 4 of these boxes for $40. I had them on my shelf, and I ripped them for fun. I didn't even film it. I just ripped them for fun to try to get some of those Dokkan cards, to try to get, you know, collect all of those. I did not collect every single one of them either. Moving on to FB05, we see a little bit of inflation with this again. It was only $68 down here. But a lot of the things that we're going to see, and I'm about to show you, is a lot of these got bought out for a very cheap price. a very cheap price. Most of these were, I'm not signed in. Most of these were down into, you know, 100. This box was maybe $120. This was one of the more expensive boxes. This actually was going for about MSRP maybe, you know, 5 months ago. Now we're seeing it up to $260. So natural inflation is going to happen with our game. And it's not exactly a bad thing. What is bad is when a corporation or a shop tries to buy everything to inflate the price, not naturally. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now with booster boxes and the super alternate arts. But with a lot of the other stuff, we're actually not seeing too bad of inflation. You can get regular cards for decent prices. Now we want to take a look at a few things that are actually obtainable and collectible right this second. Every card on the list I have in my collection myself, and I believe that these are very undervalued cards that you guys can collect for very cheap as of right now, at least most of them. These are the visual alternate arts from FB07 and FB08. There are 16 of them in total, with 8 more coming out in FB09, and most of these are under, you know, $40. We have $15 on one end and $110 on the other. And to be quite honest, I bought this card last week for maybe $25. That was the one that finished out my collection. This one is $49. This is very usable in the new meta, so that's probably a reason why this one is seen as much as it has, because honestly the yellow on these two are not exactly the sparkliest or the prettiest, I should say. But these green ones are some of the coolest cards that I have in my collection, as well as this black one. These cards have this gloss, the sheen to them that just look really cool, and honestly add a lot of value to any collection. When my friends get to that page when they're flipping in my binder, they always stop and they're like, wow, you got them all, that's really cool. And I believe that honestly these are going to be very easy to collect. A lot of people have these in their binders and they're willing to trade, so I think this is a great buy and you guys should definitely pick these up. Well, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comments if you guys liked the video. Hit that like, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.